Meet Scott Goldberg, CEO of Streamline Property Management. At Streamline, Scott and his team are dedicated to handling every aspect of their clients' rental property needs, delivering unmatched efficiency and top-tier customer satisfaction. In this exclusive interview, we dive into Scott's inspiring journey into the real estate industry, uncover the secrets behind managing the many moving parts of his thriving business, and discover his expert advice for aspiring entrepreneurs ready to make their mark. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this is a conversation you won't want to miss.
Well, Scott, could you tell us the story of how you started Streamline by accident, as you say on your website?
Absolutely. So when I was in college, I saw an ad in these things called newspapers where they printed stories. And it was for an advertisement to get a real estate license. The University of Maryland, the winter break is really long. It's 5-6 weeks. So I got this real estate license, and after graduating, didn't find a job that I loved and affiliated with a real estate company. And I noticed that not a lot of real estate agents did leasing. So if you had a house and you wanted a tenant to live in it, my job was to find someone. And not a lot of real estate agents did that. So I then started calling people who were advertising their homes in another newspaper. And on the first day, I made 10 calls, and this one guy said, "I don't know what I'm doing. You're hired, you come and do it." And that's how we got started.
So all you did was find a gap, find a problem, and you made a solution, and that's what you did to start your business.
I think most small businesses that eventually succeed, they find some sort of problem. Sometimes it's a problem people don't even know they have, but it's some sort of problem, and they come up with a decent solution.
We also know that you founded your real estate company and studied for a law degree at the same time and started a family.
Mm-hmm.
How did you time manage to make this all happen at the same time?
Great question. So I went to law school at night. So for about 3.5 years, I drove from Bethesda and Silver Spring to Baltimore, usually in rush hour. And if the cafeteria didn't have great sandwiches there, I definitely wouldn't have done it at school. But time passes, right? So if you were to add up all the time you're looking at screens or just goofing off, which I as a 42-year-old do all the time, fill it with productive things to do. So I figured I have all this time in the evening, even though I'm working at this job during the day. I always wanted to get a law degree. It seemed very interesting. It seemed very helpful. So I just did it.
What kind of tools did you use to keep you on track to make sure you didn't miss any assignments or any work projects or anything like that?
The to-do list. Just putting it on a pad of paper of what you needed to get done at any particular point. And then I use Google Calendars and put deadlines and tasks on there. And somehow didn't screw up too badly and graduated from law school and built this business and figured out how to get home to my family every night, and it all just worked out.
That's great. You just gotta do, right?
Just do it.
Yeah. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you were starting your business, and how did you overcome them?
First challenge, not knowing what I was doing. So most businesses, including real estate, are highly regulated. There is a numerous and complex set of laws that governs it, and if you were try and learn everything, I think you'd get paralyzed and not start anything. So I just jumped in and learned as we go, and sometimes you make mistakes and you say you're sorry and make things right, but we just got going and it worked.
That's interesting. But so you have a law degree, but this business is a real estate leasing business. So how do you incorporate your legal knowledge into your real estate business?
Great question. Like I said, real estate highly regulated, a lot of laws that go into this. So every once in a while, an owner wants to do something and needs a legal opinion on it. Every once in a while, a tenant and an owner have a dispute on a lease and need a legal opinion. And we operate in 3 different jurisdictions. So Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Virginia. And they all have different sets of laws, as do the different counties: Fairfax County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, D.C., and then some of the municipalities like Rockville, Gaithersburg, Tacoma Park, all have their own individual set of laws. So it is very helpful to be able to read and understand what's going on.
How did you transition initially working for a firm to starting your own brokerage, and how did that like process go smoothly?
I think it's like outgrowing clothes. One day you put on a pair of pants and you realize that they only go down to your mid-calf, right? And since capri pants are out, you've got to make a change. And sometimes you intentionally make that change, or sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and decide, hey, I gotta do something new here. So that's how it was for me. I was kind of outgrowing where I was and decided to go start my own company because I thought I could do it better on my own than where I was at.
What are some key traits and skills that you need for an entrepreneur to succeed in the real estate business now that you've been doing it for so long?
So to be successful, you need to anticipate and understand that you are going to fail a lot. And I think what makes most entrepreneurs successful down the line is that they see themselves, it's not a straight line, they see themselves as being successful knowing that there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. You're going to have people that might be unhappy with you, or something regulatory is going to change and your whole business is going to need to change. So at the beginning of the pandemic, here's a good example. We couldn't go to restaurants, right? They were closed. Some restaurants adapted by doing delivery services. Others just couldn't figure out how to get that together, getting through a website where you can order stuff online, and then getting the delivery apparatus and making food that can stay warm until it gets to someone's house. And I think a lot of those restaurants eventually went out of business, but the ones that adapted, once the pandemic, now over, hopefully, they're still open and they're thriving.
So being flexible and agile to any unexpected problems is definitely important.
Right, you need to expect the unexpected. You need to know that there's going to be a lot of known knowns and unknown knowns and known unknowns. And you just need to, you're never going to know really what a lot of these things are, but you just need to be, I think, open-minded enough and laid back enough to be flexible when these things happen.
In the real estate industry, customer relationships are clearly key, as you've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you meet customer needs and preferences in the many moving parts of a real estate transaction?
So in any service industry, all you have is your relationship with that person. The first thing we do is set expectations. For example, a property owner really cares about their home being in good condition. We care about that too. But there are some limitations on that. For example, I can't visit someone's home every single day. I can't make a little square in their living room and have a staff member making sure that they're maintaining the property, changing out an HVAC filter, turning hose bibs off in the winter time so pipes don't freeze. So we want to make sure that that's clear with property owners, that we visit the property periodically, we inspect it, we're very responsive to encourage tenants to tell us when something is not working out in the property so we can come fix it, but we can't know everything the moment it happens. And that's just that expectation. I like to say real estate is lucrative, but it's not all rainbows and unicorns. And that's why you can make a lot of money doing it, because it is difficult. Don't just expect to get a rent check every month and nothing to break, because that's not realistic.
Can you share a mistake that you've made in your career and what you've learned from it?
When you make a mistake in business, here's a life lesson, because I'm super old, so I've seen a lot of it. Don't get defensive, even if you might be completely or partially right. Acknowledge the feedback that someone is giving you if they are not completely satisfied with something, and just apologize for it. And that goes a long way. There are people that, something happens, and we just say we're sorry, and they I say that we want to work with good people. The people that we work with want to work with good companies. And when they acknowledge that, or when we're able to acknowledge to ourselves and to them that we're human, we make mistakes and we'll make things right, that just goes a long way. So, right or wrong are subjective terms, but part of that personal relationship, like saying sorry, is a huge deal.
So accountability is a huge thing in your customer relationship management.
For that, and just for ourselves, I think if you are acknowledging that you're not perfect people usually don't strive to get better. Imperfect people, I think, are always looking at ways to improve.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt.
I'll buy it.
Excellent. Me and you, we're going to start a t-shirt business. It's going to be awesome. We just come up with awesome quotes. $15.95, free delivery. We'll be rich.
All right, let's do it. Take your time to think about this if you need. What is the one thing that if you went back in time, you wish you knew before starting your business?
If I'm going back in time, I would say, Scott, be more creative. Be much more open to experimenting and failing, because it's a numbers game. For every 10 new things you try, a couple of them are going to work. And just try and do things. Try and start other ancillary businesses within real estate. So not only do we manage property, we have a service division where we have people that will go out and fix things as well. Just keep doing cool and innovative things, because whatever industry you're in, real estate, construction, medicine, I think the majority of people that you're competing with, if they have a minimal level of success, they're just going to keep repeating that and not innovating and not trying to get better. And if you're one of the small number of people that are constantly trying to improve, you're going to grow much faster and do a much better job than they are.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to meet with us.
Thank you for coming in.
Great interview.
It has been great to speak with you. Keep it up.